Hello, welcome back, Savages here, coming back with part 9 of What If Deku Had Half and Half Quirk. Now, where we last left off, Izuku has used a secret technique, or a technique that he literally learned on the spot. He just, you can say that he used the power of friendship or whatever. Anyways, he just used some sort of an electricity shot, sending such a strong electricity shock from the sky down on Muscular, resulting in Izuku organs start to stop, and because of he was actually controlling the wind and controlling, of course, the clouds around the place, also resulting in his feeling a lots of pain in his, lungs, and also which is starting feeling that they will gonna explode. In the end, he just fall on the ground. Thanks to the strong electricity shock that has fallen from the sky, Bakugo has saw it and immediately start going into the place as he see Izuku on the ground in a pile of blood, of his own blood. In the end, he got hold of him, getting him back into the camp with Todoroki. After that, he decided to save him, told Todoroki to, of course, breathe in his mouth so he can, stay alive while Bakugo is searching for an oxygen mask. In the end, Todoroki did it, Bakugo getting Izuku as an oxygen mask. In the end, Izuku waking up saying why does his limbs feel so cold. After that, Izuku go falling into a sleep, and Bakugo go out to help the others and try to save as much as people as possible, but in the end he being captured. And now we continue. Don't forget like, subscribe, and my Discord down in the description, and let's get right into it. As Izuku waking up in the hospital, and immediately he said, what's happened? As after that All Might said, young Midoriya, you are awake. Good thing, I was quite scary on you. Shoto told us that you were about to die. But thanks to the recovery girl, we managed to fix your organs, or at least, keep you alive. Don't worry, nothing bad happened to you, at least for now. You were so lucky that Bakugo were there. As Izuku said, oh yeah, where is Bakugo? As after that, of course, Aizawa on the left side of All Might said, yeah, for Bakugo, he being captured by the League of Villains. As Izuku said, what? As after that, All Might said, yeah, the League of Villains has captured Bakugo. But I still don't understand. How the hell did they manage to find us? As after that, Izuku looking down and start tearing up as he said, it was me. As after that, All Might said, what? As Izuku said, it was me. In the mall when we go, me and all class 1A, we gone to buy some things. I met with Shigaraki. I really didn't know that he was Shigaraki. I thought that he was an old friend from the school, as I just told him that we are gonna go into the training camp. I am really sorry. And now Baku is being captured by them. As after that, All Might said, young Midoriya, it's not your fault. You lost your memories. You didn't know. If it's someone's fault, it's my fault that we really didn't warn you about the League of Villains enough. We just told you that they should be careful from the League of Villains and from Shigaraki. We really didn't put in mind that you might, not even remember the face of Shigaraki. As Izuku said, just tell me, do you know where he is? As after that, All Might said, well, we are gonna go ask the other, of course, student, but to make you feel a little bit relief. We just asked Momo Yaoruzu before you, and she actually put a tracking device on one of the Nomos that were inside the place, so Bakugo's in a safe hands, don't worry. As Izuku said, can I go with you to save him? As All Might said, no, young Midoriya, you should stay here and recover. As Izuku said, but as Aizawa said, that's enough, Midoriya, sit down and recover. But I should say that you are really done a great job when you defeated Muscular. As Izuku said, oh yeah, what about Kota? Kota okay? As after that, Aizawa said, yeah, don't worry, Kota is okay, and here give you this. As Izuku seeing a letter and reading inside of it how Kota is thankful for Izuku to save him and everything. As after that, All Might said, well, recover very soon. Don't worry, Bakugo is in safe hands. I'm not gonna let anything bad happen to him. As after that, All Might leave the room. Immediately after that, and the next day, Izuku's still in the hospital. All Class 1A finally got into the place, just looking on Izuku as Kirishima said, "Yo, Midori, are you okay?" As Izuku said, "Yeah, I'm okay, but Bakugo." As after that, of course, Momo coming closer to Izuku and said, "Don't worry, I give the heroes a tracking device for Bakugo." As Izuku said, "But I have to go and save him by myself." As Izuku stand up from his chair and from his bed, and Todoroki said, "But Midoriya, you're now in no condition to fight." As Izuku said, "I don't care. My friend is in danger, and I'm not just gonna sit down waiting for my injuries to heal and waiting while the villains might right now torturing him. So, is anyone of you are with me?" As after that, he just looking left and right, and immediately after that, Izuku said, "Fine, I'll do it by myself. Momo, can you please make me another tracking device?" As Momo said, "But Midoriya," as Izuku said, "Momo, please." As after that, Momo taking a deep breath and said, "Alright," as she just gave him a tracking device, and after that, Ida said, "Midoriya, I'm not gonna just leave you go alone." As Izuku said, "So, if you're really not gonna leave me go alone, then how about you help me? This is our friend. Bakugo is our friend. Maybe he's an asshole, maybe he's a dick, maybe he's such a dumbass, and I really kinda hate him, but he's still my friend and he saved my life, and I need to repay him the bell that he put on my shoulder. I need to get him alive." What will happen if the League of Villains actually manage to kill Bakugo? If the heroes didn't manage to do anything? What will happen after that? I will never be able to call myself a hero after that. So, maybe I doesn't have my memories. Maybe I doesn't remember my friendship with Bakugo, but I know enough about him to say that I really hope that I remember all the good times that we have. As much as I think that they are, the good times are not so much, but at least I know that he's my friend, and I'm not just gonna sit down waiting here. So, get out of my way." And after that, Kirishima said, "Stop there, Midoriya." And after that, Izuku said, "What is it now?" As Kirishima coming closer and said, "I'm coming with you." As Izuku said, "Really?" As after that, Todoroki coming closer and said, "Yeah, me too." And Momo coming closer and said, "Yeah, I think you need me." As after that, Ida said, "This is a very dangerous thing, Midoriya, you can't do it. I can't just let you do it by yourself." As Izuku said, "Whatever. If you will gonna tell the heroes, it's not my problem. If you gonna already tell them, we will be already left the place." As after that, Ida said, "Come on guys, are we just gonna leave them?" As everyone else is just quiet, and after that, Izuku smiled and said, "Thank you guys. Well, should we leave?" As Izuku and everyone else just leave. After that, outside of the building, immediately, Ida coming out and said, "Midoriya." As Izuku said, "What is it, Ida?" As Ida said, "I'm gonna come with you, but if anything bad happen, we will gonna immediately retrieve, understand?" As Izuku said, "Alright, that's alright. Alright, thanks for coming with us, Ida, and not telling the heroes." As Ida said, "As much as I hate to admit it, but Bakugo is our friend and you are quite right, so let's go." And after that, Izuku and his team immediately go into the place. As they finally got into the place, and after that, Izuku said, "This is the place. Should we go inside, or let's see the things from outside? Momo, can you give me, a binocular?" As after that, Momo said, "Alright." And immediately after that, Izuku starts, levitating in the air, trying to see through a little window. As he looking through the binoculars and said, "What the fuck?" As after that, Todoroki said, "What's happened there, Midoriya?" As Izuku said, there is, come see by yourself." As after that, Izuku using his wind ability making Todoroki levitate a little bit. As after that, Todoroki seeing this, she said, "Oh my god, what the fuck is happening here?" As after that, Izuku said, "I don't know, but if Bakugo is here, we need to get him out." As after that, suddenly, Izuku feeling such a strong wind about to hit. As Izuku said, "Everyone, get down!" As immediately after that, a strong gusts of wind being exploding the whole building, and Izuku and his friends just hiding behind a wall. After that, Izuku starts feeling something weird as he hears a sound from behind saying, I'm happy that Tomura finally decided to make decisions by himself. Why you are heroes try to defeat him. I started to really appreciate how Tomura trying to work and trying to be the best as he could possibly be. You really heroes are so pathetic, as after that everyone of Izuku and everyone else start to shake in fear from the presence of this person alone. As after that Izuku start peeking from the corner as he suddenly sees some weird grey sludge being morphed in front of All For One. As after that he see the League of Villains coming out of the sludge, but most importantly in front of All For One, Bakugo being morphed from the sludge, as Izuku in his mind said, Bakugo? As after that Bakugo start coughing saying, what the fuck is this? As after that All For One said, sorry for what I done, young Bakugo, but I had to get you here in a way or another. As Bakugo said, who are you? As All For One said, who I am is not important right now, but what's important right now, it's you, Tomura. As Tomura just sitting on the ground looking on his master as he said, Sensei. As after that All For One start walking past Bakugo and into Shigaraki as he just holding his hand while Shigaraki on the ground on his knees. As of course All For One said, well Tomura, looks like that you failed again, but no worries. Just try again and make sure to be better in the next time. Learn from your mistake and be better, Tomura. Just use as much as tries that you need. I know in the end you'll be able to do it. As after that Shigaraki said, Sensei. As after that All For One said, and also remember, do you remember about the kid Midoriya? You said that he will gonna be such a interesting enemy and we should get rid of him, right? So why don't you do it already? As after that suddenly immediately after that All For One just holding his right arm into the direction where is Izuku and everyone else, as Izuku said, everyone get away, as immediately All For One just shooting his of course air cannon, and immediately Izuku using his left hand pushing everyone away from him and him pushing himself into the opposite direction, as the crater being just left in the place that Izuku and his friend were left before. As after that Bakugo said, Midoriya, Todoroki, and everyone else, what are you doing here? As after that Todoroki getting ready to fight, and after that All For One said, young Midoriya, Todoroki, Tomura told me a lot about you. Thanks for your cooperation with us. We managed to get Bakugo here, so I'm really thankful for how you cooperated with Tomura. As after that Izuku said, you bastard. And immediately after that Izuku said, everyone get out of here. As everyone just of course Ida said, but Midoriya, what should we you should come with us. As Izuku said, no, I should stay here. This is my mistake and I'm the one that's gonna fix it. As after that Todoroki standing by his side and said, but I'm gonna help you. As Izuku said, thank you Todoroki, but no. As immediately Todoroki said, you can't stop me. As Izuku said, no, I can. As immediately Izuku just chopping Todoroki on her neck, knocking her off. As immediately he got hold of her body and throw it into Ida, as he said, everyone run away from here. As immediately he just pushed them with a windy blast on their body. And immediately after that Izuku jumped by the side of Bakugo and immediately said, are you ready? As Bakugo said, like ever, I'm ready. I am as a whatever, I'm just quite worried. How the hell they know about you? As Izuku said, long story short, I met with Tomura inside the mall and he tricked me to tell everyone else about the training camp. As Bakugo said, what? As Izuku said, I'm gonna explain everything later, but let's focus on the fight. As after that immediately All For One said, what kind of fight are you gonna focus on? Just look around of you. Your death is coming soon. As after that, suddenly All For One hearing a sound saying, "All For One!" As immediately he looking in the behind of him and seeing All Might just going right at him. Immediately All For One putting both of his hands in front of him, being able to get hold of All Might punches as the air pressure immediately pushing Izuku and Bakugo and all of the League of Villains away. As All For One said, "Ah, All Might, are you here to kill me again?" As All Might said, "This time I'll make sure to do the work and make the job done, All For One." As immediately after that, Izuku said, "Bakugo, come on." As immediately before, Izuku managed to get hold of Bakugo, Dabi throwing a wave of fire on Izuku. Izuku immediately using his wind, of course, throwing the fire back on Dabi, as Dabi immediately, make a wall of fire to block his own flames. As Dabi said, "No, this is cheating." As Izuku said, "Look who's talking, the one with the scar face." As immediately after that, Izuku holding his right arm and throwing an electricity wave on, of course, Dabi. Dabi immediately using his flames, Izuku blocking the attack with, of course, his wind, and immediately throwing his electricity back on Dabi. Dabi being electrocuted by this, but is not enough to knock him off, as he said, "You remind me of someone that I really hate." As Izuku said, "What? My powers?" or something like that. As Dabi said, "You have half and half. I really hate those with half and half ability." As Izuku said, "Oh, really? Well, I'm happy that you hate me, because I hate you more." And immediately after that, Izuku throwing more fire, electricity wave on Dabi. But before he managed to do anything more, immediately, suddenly, a boss being morphed in front of Dabi. As Izuku looking on the right and seeing, of course, Mr. Compress holding a couple of marbles. As he said, "I'm not gonna just let you electrocute Dabi again. It's not so gentle of you." As immediately after that, Baku said, "Don't forget, I'm still in the fight." As immediately after that, Shigaraki jumped in front of Bakugo, but Baku dodging his attack and throwing an explosion at him. But Karagiri immediately, teleported the explosion back on Bakugo. After that, All For One immediately said, "This will be such a hard time, All Might. How about you just leave me and let me kill your student?" As All Might said, "Like hell I'm gonna do that, All For One." As immediately All Might just jumped on All For One, and All For One using air cannon pushing him into a building. As he said, "Kurigiri, open a portal for everyone to run away." As after that, Kurigiri opened a portal, and immediately after that, All For One using his tentacles wrap it into, of course, the chest of Magnet. As because Magnet right now, she's on the ground, or he's on the ground, and really doesn't know what the gender of Magnet. Anyways, he forcibly activating his quirk, making everyone go right into Toga. That right now she's behind the, and behind the portal, or in front of the portal. As of course, Shigaraki and all of the League of Villains being sucked inside the portal, and after that, Shigaraki said, "No, Sensei!" As immediately after that, Izuku and Baku being left behind. As Izuku said, "Well, I think that's supposed to be a win." As Baku said, Don't be so happy. We still have another fight." As immediately after that, All For One said, "Yeah, you still have." As immediately, Bakugo turned around and seeing black tentacles going right at him. As immediately he only see blood splatter in front of his face. As his eyes whiting and he looking down, he see Izuku standing in front of him. As Bakugo said, "Deku." As immediately after that, Izuku said, "Are you okay?" As after that, All For One said, "Just as I expected." As immediately All For One dragging Izuku closer to him using his tentacles of his fingers. And after that, he holding Izuku in the middle of the air while the tentacles on Izuku back. As Bakugo said, "Leave Deku alone." As after that, All For One said, "Why would I leave him alone while he have such an interesting quirk? Air and electricity. Very, very interesting indeed. But I really would love to use it, but, I have such a better idea than just using it by myself." As after that, All Might come closer, and immediately, All For One just putting Izuku in front of All Might, making All Might retrieve and going back. And immediately after that, using air cannon, throwing an air wave on All Might, pushing him back. As All Might said, "You coward, using Midoriya body as a shield." As Izuku tried to use his electricity or his wind, but nothing working. As All For One said, "Don't try. Your quirk is under my control. As long as my tentacles inside your body, you are nothing but my puppet. As after that, immediately All For One said, which make me wonder, as after that, the right side of Izuku starts sparking with electricity, as immediately after that, All For One starts making Izuku shooting some electricity out of his hand on All Might and Bakugo. After that, All Might blocking this attack by his body, and Izuku continued throwing electricity because of All For One. Immediately All For One stopped and Baku said, "Stop this! You will gonna kill him!" As after that All For One said, "Oh, really? Then I think that I should continue doing it." As after that, All For One starts continue throwing more, electric bolt on All Might and Bakugo. Baku try every time to go into All Might, onto All For One, but he just putting Izuku body in front of him. In the end, All For One said, "Alright, I think this time to end it." As after that, All For One, using of course an enhancement quirk, forced it into Izuku body through his tentacles, and immediately making Izuku shooting an even stronger electricity wave out of his body, as Izuku half right of his body starts engulfing in electricity, and after that he starts screaming in agony and pain as electricity starts raining from the sky like rain, as it's just hitting left to right, the buildings, everything around of him, while the only thing that you can hear that is much louder than the sound of the electricity hitting the ground is the sound of the agony of Izuku's scream. And after that, All For One stopped as Bakugo said, "Leave him alone!" As after that, All For One said, "Looks like he broke." As Baku just looking in front of him, he see Izuku in the middle of the air being held by the tentacles of All For One wrapped inside his back, with his, clothes being ripped off, or his t-shirt being half ripped off and burned down from the electricity of from his own electricity. And seeing that Izuku right arm and right side of his body all covered in blood and scratches because the electricity was so strong that it even pierced through his skin. As after that, Baku said, "Midoriya! Midoriya!" As immediately after that, Izuku started crying and said, "Please help me." As after that, Izuku being knocked off, and All For One said, "I think we had enough from you." And immediately after that, suddenly All For One just throw Izuku into the air. Bakugo taking this chance and going closer into Izuku, but before he managed to get hold of his hand, suddenly a gray goo just covering Izuku, and suddenly he being disappeared. As Bakugo said, "Where did you get him? Where did you throw him?" As after that, All For One said, "Don't worry, Bakugo, you will gonna meet him very soon. Maybe he's died by now, but I'm sure that Izuku will gonna make such a fine creature, don't you think?" Nomus are actually made by humans, you know that? As Baku eyes whiting and said, "You will never gonna turn him into that!" As immediately he go flying on All For One. Immediately after that, All For One using his ultimate move, putting all his quirks inside one arm, All Might from behind going right on All For One, using his own, putting all his power inside his right arm to go and throwing a punch with Bakugo. Bakugo using Hauser Impact and all their powers being collapsed together. As when the smoke clears, they only see such a strong, tornado around the place filled with explosions. And after that, immediately All Might being, All For One being under the ground, knocked off by All Might punches, that right now All Might has finally go into his skeleton form. As Baku start breathing heavily, getting hold of course, All For One's jacket and start screaming in his face saying, where is Deku? Where is Deku? As after that, All Might said, "Bakugo, we're gonna search for him later, but we need to capture him now." As Baku said, "Don't tell me what to do. He got my friend. I need to get him back. Where did he send him? Where did you send him?" And this is when I'm gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this part and what do you think will gonna happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.